Hello and welcome to Enough, Stop Bullying in El Paso County. The show is dedicated to putting an end to bullying. I launched the effort to stand up to bullying 2 years ago when I noticed an increase in the number of bullying incidents coming into our office. Whether you have children or not, you should be concerned. Every 7 minutes a child is bullied on a school playground, and over 85% of those instances occur without any intervention. We can make a difference. Here's what we've done so far. In 2010, the El Paso County Sheriff's Office Anti-Bullying Coalition was formed. Their mission? To educate the community on the growing dangers of bullying and to spread the message that bullying will not be tolerated. In 2011, El Paso County Commissioners signed a proclamation proclaiming El Paso County to be a bully-free zone. We've partnered with local school districts and organizations to strengthen our efforts, and now we're hitting the airwaves with the help of the El Paso School District and KTSM News Channel 9.
Bullying stories can be found everywhere. Just about every person has experienced bullying in one form or another.
It can be verbal and include name calling or teasing, social like spreading rumors, physical involving hitting, punching, and shoving.
Bullying at school can happen peer-to-peer, older kids to younger ones, and in some cases even involve a teacher as either a victim or a culprit.
And with today's technology, the problem has also crossed virtual borders. Cyberbullying is now a serious problem that can cause long-term damage to victims and bullies.
Hello, I'm Chief Deputy Eddie Campa with the El Paso County Sheriff's Office. I'd like to welcome everybody to another episode of Enough, putting an end to bullying in El Paso County. Joining me today from the County Attorney's Office is Laura Christopherson. Ms. Christopherson, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good. Well, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us today. Would you please tell us a little bit of the role that the county attorney plays in prosecuting cases that have a nexus to bullying?
Well, here in El Paso County, the County Attorney's Office oversees the prosecution of all juvenile crimes. And what we have done with our initiative with the Bullying Coalition is to put an emphasis on just screening cases carefully to be able to identify what cases do have a bullying nexus, whether they be assaults, terroristic threats, even criminal mischiefs, or any other case where there is indeed a nexus to bullying.
Right. You know, as we go out and talk to the community, a lot of people ask the question, why bullying is not against the law? I mean, there is no charge that says bullying like assault. What kind of crimes can be committed that have that nexus to bullying?
We're seeing a lot of assaults that indeed do begin with the bullying, but we are often seeing assaults against the complaining witness, the victim of bullying, who just says, I've had enough, and retaliates, being a juvenile with the large muscles and just assaulting the antagonizer, the bully.
In the last few years, we've seen an increase in heightened awareness on the issue of bullying. Have you seen an increase in your office? You've been handling the prosecution of juveniles for the last 4 years.
Yes, sir.
From when you first started till now, have you seen people coming out and saying more that it started off as bullying instead of just, you know, a simple assault or something like that?
We have, and I don't know if there's been more bullying or it's just that we as a community are more aware of it. And of course that extends to the county attorney's office, and we too are more aware of the bullying nexus and trying hard to recognize it.
The county attorney has taken an active role with the Anti-Bullying Coalition. I know you all have a program similar as well, where we do work together, but could you tell us a little bit more about the way your program is structured?
Certainly. What we're doing is it's outreach really to our communities, to our parents. We're focusing on the parents and trying to equip them with information, tools, and knowledge on how to identify bullying, and hopefully be a resource for them so that their children who is being bullied or is a bully, that the parents can have some action steps to go forward with.
Great. As the community can see, we're taking a very proactive approach. I mean, you've got everybody involved in the Anti-Bullying Coalition. You've got, you know, the sheriff's office, you've got all the school districts, you got the county attorney, you got the juvenile probation department involved. So the community, you know, we want to let the community know that we're taking a very active role in putting an end to bullying. Is there any story that you might be able to share with us? Of course, without mentioning any names or anything, or a case that maybe it's related to bullying and how we were able to resolve it.
I think overall it's just an awareness without, like you said, going into specific cases. I think it's just the awareness by the community, including ourselves, that many times when we do see assaults in schools or out in our community, that it's important that we look at the big picture and see what exactly was going on. Yes, there was an assault, but perhaps the root of it was a bullying, like you just said.
Can you tell us what the punishment phase is for this for these things? I mean, everything from fines to jail time, probation.
Under the juvenile justice system, the disposition, like we like to call it, would be probation for a juvenile up until their 18th birthday. And if it rises to a felony level, it could be time at the juvenile correction system up until their 19th birthday.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe we have seen a decrease in juvenile crime here in El Paso County. Is that correct, or have we actually seen an increase?
No, we are seeing at this time a decrease on reported cases in juvenile crime.
So that's a good thing. I mean, that must mean that either the punishment phases is working, or the outreach that we're all doing as public servants is actually working, or what do you think that's attributed to?
Well, I hope it is. I hope it is indeed a reflection of a decrease in crime in our community. And as you said, based hopefully on the outreach. I know that the County Attorney's Office has been very active on juvenile crime outreach. We have indeed joined the coalition and been an active part in that as well. So I hope that it is indeed a decrease in crime in our community.
Good deal. What I know as a child and as a father, I haven't personally had any bullying instances, but do you have any personal stories you might want to share with us, or of a friend or anybody that might have been suffering from a bullying issue that you have firsthand knowledge of?
Well, the cases that we get, that we become aware of, typically are your bullying that raised to levels of not only hitting, but sometimes even sexual assault. And we always tell the parents, just be vigilant, be aware, pay attention to your child, because he may not only be a victim, he may also be a bully.
Right, that's one of the, and I'm glad you touched on that. I'd like to get the attention of all the viewers right now, especially the parents. It really starts at home. I mean, that's our first line of defense. As a parent, we're asking that all you parents, please monitor your children, pay close attention to them. When they come to talk to you, listen to them. Pay attention to them, because you're their first line. They're going to be the first people they come to. So parents, please, sometimes maybe it's a little more important to put that cell phone down or put work aside and listen to our kids, because we're there to protect them. Once again, it's Ms. Christopherson. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule to be here today, and we'll be right back. Hello and welcome back to Enough. Joining me now is Director of Special Programs at the Juvenile Probation Department, Rosie Medina. Rosie, thank you for being out here with us today and taking part of this important program. Rosie, can you tell us, I know you work with the Juvenile Probation Department. A lot of people are not familiar with JPD. Could you just give us a quick rundown of what exactly JPD is?
Our responsibility, our department, is to, we receive the youth that are referred to the department for having committed delinquent acts in our community. We process those cases, establish if there's probable cause, and determine whether we're going to divert those cases out of our system or they're going to enter our system, and then we go through the process of taking the juveniles to court and formally placing them on probation.
Right. Now, what kind of acts or delinquent acts are committed that have a nexus to bullying, and are you seeing an increase in people coming in because of the relation to bullying?
Okay. As a department, we don't specifically gather or collect the data to respond to your question. We have seen a decline in the number of referrals that are coming into the department, which is a good thing. But what we do see in the course of our daily work in interviewing youth, working with the families and interviewing them as well, we have noticed that juveniles will report if they have been victims of bullying, as well as the incident reports that are filed by law enforcement will indicate whether bullying is part of the offenses that are committed. A good portion of the youth that come into our system where there's a connection to bullying come in on charges related to assault behaviors, as well as terroristic threats.
And what do you all do at JPD? I know I've been there a couple of times to see the programs that you all run, like the Challenge program, which is a very interesting program, which I love. What do you all do to work with these individuals that have committed bullying? What programs do you all have in place for that?
Okay. As a department, when youth are referred to us, we conduct thorough screenings and assessments to determine risk and need levels. Part of that also involves a probation officer following a structured interview process with a juvenile as well as a family, and we solicit quite a bit of information so that we can determine what are the needs of the child. We can put together a comprehensive case plan for the child that's going to address all of their needs. And those issues are addressed either through our department. We have various professionals in the department that provide a multitude of services, or we also contract with individuals in the community to address the issues. Some of the services that are provided to address the antisocial behaviors that bullies present, as well as those that are victimized by bullying, they will come in with some externalizing behaviors, some depression, ADHD, kind of symptoms. We have psychiatric and psychological services, mental health services, substance abuse services. We have emotional regulation, which is kind of similar, I guess, more common is known as anger management. So we provide all of those services to assist them in thinking before they act, to reduce the impulsive behaviors.
Right. Now, a lot of people think that they can just pick up the phone and say, I'm having problems with Mijo, here, please take him. It doesn't work that way, right? It has to be a law enforcement referral to you all, and usually because they've committed a delinquent act of sort, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Just going at that. Would you please tell us, I know that your department has joined the Anti-Bullying Coalition, and you guys are doing a lot of wonderful things at your place. Would you tell us a little bit about the initiatives that you have going on at JPD?
Definitely. In support of the initiative, our chief has allowed for our department on Thursdays to wear jeans along with the Anti-Bullying Coalition t-shirt. The vast majority of our personnel, whether they are on the probation services side of the house or in the secure facility, are allowed to participate in the initiative. The t-shirts are a representation of our support. Additionally, last fiscal year, our department wrote a grant and did receive funding from the Texas Juvenile Justice Department. And that grant funded us to provide a training to 25 individuals representing 7 different agencies on an anti-bullying curriculum. And that training took place in September. And so now we have 25 trained facilitators on this curriculum, and they can go out into the community, work with schools and educating teachers and administrators, as well as educating the youth about bullying and how to recognize it, who do you report it to. Perfect.
Ms. Mayor, thank you. This is a topic I would love to spend hours talking about because I'm interested in the whole JPD issues. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule to join us, and just keep up the good work. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Good evening, I'm Jacqueline Crea with News Channel 9. Unfortunately, we hear about stories all the time that involve bullying. Tonight, we'll share 3 of the most recent instances making headlines. First, across the globe, 8 schoolgirls in London, Ontario have been charged with criminal harassment for bullying, including cyberbullying. Jeff Semple from our Canadian partner CBC has more.
Students at London's South Collegiate Institute say bullying happens every day.
It's been going on for the past 4 years. You can see it,
especially through social media like Facebook.
But not every day do police arrive at the school to arrest the alleged bullies.
I think it's ridiculous that it got to that point.
Police charged 8 students, all teenage girls, with criminal harassment. The teens allegedly bullied another girl, a grade 10 student, for months, harassing her verbally, physically, and online.
Well, I went on Facebook and I checked her wall, and there was a lot of comments being thrown at her.
I think it got to the point where there were so many people kind of harassing her that it just kind of got overwhelming for her.
The school principal says a number of students came forward to report the bullying, while others used an anonymous tip line set up on the school's website.
We had an assembly this morning to congratulate our students. I am very proud of the response that our community has given, including our students, in coming forward with this information.
There have only been a handful of documented cases in the past where student bullying has led to criminal charges, but students and parents say it's about time. Karina Morrison founded London's anti-bullying coalition 7 years ago after she says her son was bullied incessantly. She remembers calling police and being told there was nothing they could do.
There's an issue, and it needs to be dealt with swiftly and promptly.
Police say the increased public concern over bullying is having an impact.
The tragic events that occurred in British Columbia with Amanda Todd has really heightened everyone's awareness of a very tragic event that ended a young person's life.
Jeff Semple, CBC News, London, Ontario.
A Tennessee woman was arrested after she punched a 17-year-old girl in the face in the checkout line at a grocery store. Reporter Wayne Carter found out the motive behind the bizarre fight.
It's all outlined in this police report. Germantown mother Meredith Phillip Ross hauled off to jail and arrested for punching a blonde-haired 17-year-old girl at the self-checkout line at the Kroger on Exeter Road. Police reports say that Ross started yelling at the teen, cornering her, and punched her squarely in the face, knocking her to the ground. Customers and store employees saw it all and called 911.
Wayne Carter from Channel 3.
We tracked Ross down at her Germantown home to try to get some answers as to why she'd hit the teen.
I wanted to kind of get your side of what had happened.
No, thanks. I'm not interested.
Germantown police did tell News Channel 3 Ross hit the teen because of a long-standing fight between the girl and Ross's daughter. She felt her child was being bullied and apparently took matters into her own hands.
I don't think that's appropriate. I think we should go through the proper channels.
Dr. Jeffrey Hamsley is a psychologist in Collierville. He says parents will do anything to protect their kids. He says when you feel like they're being bullied, you must act appropriately, as difficult as that might be.
When most humans lose their temper, it's because they lost control. Someone else has more control of the situation. And it sounds like this mom got a little fired up and acted out.
And now to a local level, Ensor Middle School launched an anti-bullying campaign last week. The school-wide event featured local rapper Adair Lyon, who performed songs and delivered an anti-bullying message to all Ensor students. It was all part of the school's third annual event to kick off their Olveus Bullying Prevention Program campaign for the school year. School counselor Diana Aguirre says they want to show everyone that Socorro ISD is taking a very active part to put an end to bullying. I'm Jacqueline Crea, back to you.
Joining me now and enough is Maria Garcia from the Rio Grande Safe Communities Coalition. Ms. Garcia, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you here. Ms. Garcia, tell us a little bit about what your coalition does and what it tries to accomplish.
Our coalition's primary focus is on underage drinking, and right now we're targeting adults as well, holding them responsible. We're trying to hold them responsible for providing alcohol to minors. But just like in substance abuse or early drinking of youth, we also look at other topics such as bullying. So we try to address both.
Right. In your the last seminar that you all had, you all talked about some of the effects that, and some of the reasons why children turn to alcohol. Some of them turn to alcohol as an escape because they're being bullied, so they look at alcohol or drugs as an escape, or they turn to alcohol and then become bullies. So can you tell us a little bit about some of the behaviors that our parents should be looking out for as far as the social behaviors of people who are going to become bullies or are being bullied?
Yes, primarily parents are asked to look at the protective factors of their children. You know, how the parents give them attention, how they're doing in school, if they're open to talking to parents. You know, the relationship between the parent and the child, if it's changing, you know, something is going on. If the child is a little isolated, perhaps scared, doesn't want to go to school, the grades start dropping. And so what we try to focus in, at bullying and underage drinking or substance use, their main focus is trying to increase the protective factors, trying to decrease the risk factors. And so we often ask the parents to be a little more open, to look at the grades, to dedicate a little more attention to the child.
Right. You know, that's one of the key factors that we try to highlight on this show, is that the first line of defense is actually the parents. I mean, because as parents, we are the protective factor. We're the ones who are supposed to protect our children. Right. Unfortunately, some of us have very busy schedules. You know, we're up at 5 o'clock in the morning, going to bed at 12 midnight, and because we're just busy. And a lot of the times, you know, we forget about the simple things, which is just listening to our children, stopping, having dinner with our children at the dinner table, spending a Saturday evening with them, and just letting them express themselves. So in reality, it really starts with the parents. I mean, would you agree with that? I certainly do. You know, as far as your coalition goes, I know you involve the parents and you involve a lot of students. What other initiatives do you all have against bullying? Okay, we do a lot of community awareness. We do trainings, and we also do workshops. The last workshop we did was at the Islera del Sur Pueblo Indian Reservation, and it was on underage drinking, how it affects the brain, and anti-bullying. And so some of the parents were taught strategies on how to fight bullying or how to help the child, stand up to bullies. Are you seeing an increase since the coalition? Are you seeing more people coming to you and talking to you more about bullying issues than ever before in the past, or are you seeing it just pretty much staying the same? I've seen increase. As a matter of fact, schools also ask us about bullying presentations or anti-bullying presentations. Now we talk about our parents being the first line of defense, but the second line of defense that we have are our peers, are our friends, especially a lot of young children or teenagers. They don't feel very comfortable talking to their parents, so they'll turn and tell a friend. What kind of advice do you have for that friend who is going to listen? What should they do? I think it's a good thing that the friend can come up and talk to a responsible adult about it. Let it known that one of their friends is being bullied. What our main focus is to prevent damages or even deaths with our youth. Okay, fantastic. Ms. Garcia, we appreciate everything that you do at your coalition, and we thank you for also, spreading the word about our coalition and the relationship that we have, because there's strength in numbers. If you're being bullied, remember you're not alone. You have a lot of people that are on your side.
The El Paso County Sheriff's Office and News Channel 9 need your help to stamp out bullying.
Join us Saturday, November the 24th for the 3rd annual Run Out Bullying at McAllican Canyon.
Do your part and sign up for an 8K, 5K, or 1 mile fun run. Show that you're not afraid to stand up to bullying.
And help us raise funds to work with area schools and the community to stop bullying before it happens.
The 3rd annual Run Out Bullying, Saturday, November 24th in McAllican Canyon. Visit epcabc.com for more information.
All right, joining me now is Sergeant Wiki, Sergeant of the Community Services Section for the El Paso County Sheriff's Office, and the man in charge of putting this race together. Sergeant Wiki, why don't you tell us a little bit about the 3rd annual race awareness?
Absolutely. It's the race is going to be on November 24th, a little different. This year we're having it
after Thanksgiving?
Right after Thanksgiving. So I know that there's going to be a lot of people that are going to need the exercise.
So basically we won't wait for January 1st to start our New Year's resolution. We can start the 24th of November and bring everybody in, right?
This year we're starting early, and that way the failed resolutions can come a little sooner this year, right? So it's our 3rd annual Run Out Bullying, and we have an 8K, a 5K, and it's also a 1 mile walk. And the registration, the fee for all 3 of those is $25 on the day of the race, and it's $20 if you register prior to. And for military, it's $15. And now we have 3 ways that you can register for the race. You can do it online at raceadventuresunlimited.com. You can do it in person at Up and Running. They have 2 locations.
They have a west side and an east side?
They have one on the 1400 block of George Dieter, and they have one at the 3200 block of North Mesa. And you can also do it by mail at their address for Up and Coming. And we're going to have a packet pickup for the racers, and that's going to be on the 23rd, which is on the Friday prior to the race, and from 11 a.m. until 6 p.m. at Up and Running on Mesa. You can also pick up your packet the day of the race, but you have to be there a little bit early, by 8:15. So if you're going to be running around like we always are, it's probably better to do it the day before on Friday. And again, the race starts at 8:30 in the morning, and it's at McCalligan Canyon. So anybody that has ever run McCalligan Canyon, it's a challenging run. So.
And believe it or not, I actually did the run last year, and I swear to God I'll never do it again because it's a challenging run for all of those running enthusiasts. This is a great run. I'm sure they know about it. I mean, we have tons of people running up there. This year we're also really excited that the staff at KTSM, their news anchor crews and their executive staff is going to be out there participating in this run. They are the major sponsor for the race this year. We also have 104 Hit FM who will also have we'll have Dario and Johnny Cage out there running the race. So we're gonna have quite a few interesting people out there. What can you let KTSM know that they've never been part of the run? So what are they in for?
Well, like I said, I mean it's during that time of the year it's nice and brisk out there at 8 in the morning. It's very challenging, like you said. It's a lot of people think the uphill is the challenging part, but you have to have a lot of control for when you're on your way down, and so to me that's the more challenging part. But like you said, we've set out challenges to the DJs at 104, to the anchors at KTSM, and we're extending the challenge out to the community, to all our partners that are involved with the Anti-Bullying Coalition, and to all our educators and everybody that's involved. We're setting out the challenge, and we want to double the number of people that we had last year. Last year we had close to 300, and we're doing a real good job with putting it out and just trying to get the whole community involved.
Fantastic. There you have it. Join us November 24th for the 3rd annual Anti-Bullying Run.